I'm Rosie and welcome to Handpan Fundamentals. Today I'm going to be taking a quick look at the G Pentatonic scale for the RAV. You might have a pan that's got a similar layout, or if you've just grabbed this RAV, this might be useful for you. If your note in the middle is different, it's an E or an F or a C sharp, don't panic. Write down every single one of your notes in alphabetical order. You don't need to know music theory, you just need to know your alphabet. If your first note is D, the next one will be E, F, G, etc, etc. You might have some sharps and flats floating around in there, but don't worry about that either. Just go through the alphabet, when you get to A, go back around. Then number them, with 1 as your ding. Now whenever I say notes 1, 3 and 5, I might mean D, F and A, but for you they're going to be different ones, so just translate as we go. So here's a really quick whiz through some of the notes that you can play on it. Instead of having 7 notes, which we're used to in a major or minor scale, this one's only got 5 different notes. And while that might be a little more limiting, it also means that you're less likely to go wrong. So maybe it's a great one for beginners to start or try to experiment with while they're getting used to these different pans. So this scale, this G minor pentatonic has got a lovely rich sound. I'll just play them one at a time. Because we're only selecting from 5 pitches, it means that we get to have more of each one. So we've got 3 different notes of G, our tonic or our key note. Lots of options. Next up in our regular scale, we'd have A, but in our pentatonic, we skip that one out completely and go up to B flat or A sharp. Next up, we've got C, just walking up. Then D, we get 2 of those. Again, we're skipping out E, that's what would come next in the alphabet or in the regular scale, but we don't need that one here. And we've got F. 2 of them before we land back on G again. Even though we've got fewer pitches, we can still make our chords or triads that we're used to. G, we've got a G minor. Loads of options for that scale, for that chord, it sounds really rich. Next up, we're skipping out our A, and we can go to B flat major. B flat, a D, and an F. Because it's a major scale, it sounds really shiny and bright. Next up, C. Now we've got our first note, C, and our 5th note, G, but we don't have an E at all. So if you've got a different pan with an E or an E flat, a D sharp, you can use that to imply both C major and C minor. But if you've only got this pan, then it's a little more open, it's a 5th. We haven't got that sound in the middle, so it gives quite a resonant sound. Because it's that 3rd note being flat or normal, which gives our ear the decision as to whether it's major or minor. Without that, it just sounds really open and barren, which can be a beautiful sound. With our D, we've got a different problem. We've got the first note, D, we've got our 3rd note, the F, but we don't have an A at all. So we've only got enough to show the first bit, to show that it's D minor with our D and our F. We don't have an E at all, so we don't really need to worry about that one. And then F. Again, we don't have our middle note. That's the A, or the A flat, if it was to be minor. So we've only got our F and our C. Again, you can hear that open, barren sound. Now, if you're working with another pan, or another player, or another instrumentalist or singer, you can have more options to fill in those gaps any way you want. But the lovely thing about this pentatonic is because it's more just scaffolding and structure, the ear will be doing a lot of work to fill in those gaps itself, so you're much less likely to hit a dud note off of this pan. You can do some lovely patterns, so for example chord 1 and chord 5 are kind of standard two chords, the tonic and the dominant, sound great together. So we've got G, B flat and D, and just by shifting to the F, we get our major sound, so minor, major. With very little effort, I'm playing something that starts to feel like a whole tune, which is the goal of using the chords in this way and why a little bit of music theory can go a long way. And I would say it's a good choice for a beginner. However, as you get more advanced and you want to play in various keys and scales, you may feel that you start to get a little limited by the fact that it's only got these 5 notes rather than the 7 we might be more used to. So while this only has 5 notes, I'll be comparing it with a G Pygmy, which has a few more options as well, so check that out too. It's definitely a great place to start, but it may be that as you go on you feel that you would like even more notes. So have a listen to the scale, see if it's something that you enjoy, and if so, go and get one, I guess. If you want. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for a new video every week.